Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hope College inside DeVos Fieldhouse. You are here today for the 5 o'clock matchup of the Kalamazoo Hornets versus the Finlandia Lions. We're going to get a serve right away from Monica Freeman for the Lions. This ball is going to get set up right away to Goodman, and she slams that one down for the first point of the game. And right away, that'll send Gerard back to serve, and Kalamazoo coming off a loss against Hope in the 3 o'clock game. They lost in 3 sets. Gerard up for the serve. Diaz will get it. Anderson sets out, covered by Gerard. Ammon goes out to Catranzi. She goes for the nice floater shot. A tip by the Lions. Ammon sets up Catranzi again, and she'll hit that right into the net for a point for the Lions. We're going to get a sub. Number 6, Vigier, is going to come in for Gerard. And number 8, Anderson, Shannon Anderson, will give us the serve. Anderson sets right side to Goodman, and she'll sail that one to the back line, but that'll go out of bounds. Shannon Anderson, the senior from Ohio, will get another chance. Deep serve. Ammon goes out to Catranzi, blocked by the Lions, and that will end right by the 10-foot line to give the Lions the 2-point lead. Anderson once again. Hard serve. Wojcik with a nice setup. Catranzi goes hard. This ball set up to the outside, blocked, but that'll hit the out-of-bounds pole. Give Finlandia the 3-point lead, excuse me. Wojcik once again will get the pass out to Catranzi again. Good dig by Anderson. And Holstrom will stick that one. The Lions on a little bit of a roll. This time, Vigier gets it. Set out to Goebel. Called out of bounds. It's a good mix-up on the Hornets. They'd been going outside to Catranzi, so to mix it up to Goebel was a solid decision. Just couldn't get it to stick. Anderson again. Wojcik gets it up. Ammon goes to Goodman. Sends it out of bounds. A lot of good combinations, but the Hornets can't get the hits to stick. 7-1 in favor of the Lions. Shannon Anderson continues her reign. Wojcik with a nice pass setup. Catranzi off the hands of the block. Solid hard hit to end Shannon Anderson's reign in the serving sequence. So Maddie Wojcik will step back to serve for the Hornets. This one's dug by Nattel. Tipped over. Ammon goes out to Goebel. Once again from Nattel, set up to Holstrom. The Lions recover. Deep shot by Nattel. Heads out of bounds. Short serve right into the net for Wojcik. That'll give the point to the Lions. Manos will come back into the game. Dalton with the serve. Catranzi gets it up. A little bit of a misplaced pass, and they'll have to free ball that over. Hard hit from Holstrom. Wojcik's there, but can't get it up. So Marina Dalton once again with the serve. Deep serve again. Catranzi, they save it. Suslin gets a chicken wing on it, but no one's there to help. So Dalton will continue. Serve receive for the Hornets. A little bit of a disarray right now. Dalton sends that out of bounds. We're going to see a sub right here. Kraft will come in as well as Woodhams, who will serve. Kraft comes in and she'll set from the front row. Woodhams with a hard serve, dug by Natel. Holstrom, but that one's up by Catranzi. They go back to Catranzi for the hit, off the block. Hornets get it up. They'll send that one over. Off the block again. And they'll set that over. Setter sneak attack, but the Lions, are covering. They're going to get the point on that one. Best volley of the night that we've seen so far. No hard hits, but a lot of back and forth action. Hard for both teams to get into a rhythm at that point. Nicole Anderson, the senior, will take her shot at the serve. Kraft goes out to Susling. Anderson gets it up. Diaz sets. Freeman brings it over. Kraft out to Catranzi. Set over, and the Hornets will take their time. It's going to be a back row set. Miscommunicated. Diaz to Holstrom, but Holstrom, a little too much power, sends that down into the net.
10 for 6.
Catranzi comes back in to serve, and then Gerard will sub in. Catranzi with the serve. That one's out of bounds. 12-5 in favor of the Lions. Holstrom back to serve, the sophomore. Holstrom goes deep, up by Wojcik. This one's served to Gerard. She'll get it in. You'll see Goodman once again come in the front row for the libero Wojcik. Diaz sets that up. Back row to Holstrom. Kraft goes out to Gerard. Anderson to Freeman, up by Catranzi. Kraft to Goodman, goes for that back corner but can't find it. Wojcik comes back in, in the back row. Diaz will serve for us. Catranzi will get the pass. Gerard will send it. We're going to get a free ball over by the Lions. Kraft to Goodman off the hands of Anderson. She'll shank that pass. Sub again for the Hornets. Goebel comes back in as well as Ammon. Ammon will serve. Freeman, Dalton, and Anderson are in the front row for the Lions. Ammon with the serve, Holstrom with the pass. Looks like we're going to get a double touch on that one from Nicole Anderson. Diaz, Shannon, Anderson, and Holstrom in the back row for the Lions. Holstrom with the pass. This ball's up. Dalton will send it. Ammon goes out to Gerard. Off the hands of Anderson, and good hustle by Diaz, but she can't get there in time. Ammon will continue to serve. Front row for the Hornets, we have Goebel, Gerard, and Goodman. This one's up by Holstrom. Deep hit from Anderson. This one goes to Gerard. Anderson sends it up. Diaz sets back row. This ball sent over. Back to Gerard. Diaz with a beautiful pass. Dalton sends it. Ammon to help. Back row to Catranzi. She tips it over. They recover. Anderson will send it over. And back to Gerard, tight at the net. Lions keep it alive. Wojcik will set back row to Catranzi, and the block is there. The team block from Dalton and Freeman. And no one's there to recover. So that'll give the Lions their 14th point, 14-9. Freeman back to serve. To Wojcik. Ammon to Goodman with the quick set. Beautiful corner shot from Goodman. Just great vision on that play. And we're going to see Taylor Natel come back in. She'll go in the back row. So we have Natel, Diaz, and Holstrom in the back row to receive. That one Diaz finds. Anderson out to Dalton. A solid flare shot. Vigier will come in for Girard. And Shannon Anderson goes back to serve. We have Vigier, Wojcik, and Katranzi in the back to receive, but they don't need to do any work because that ball is sent out of bounds. Suslin comes back into the front row, and Wojcik will serve. So up to Anderson. Anderson to Anderson. Off the block. Holstrom gets it at stick. Beautiful shot off the block, nice and hard. The block was just far enough off the net that the ricochet was off the net, and beautiful placement. Dalton back to serve. Katranzi barely gets that one up. We'll get a back row free ball by Wojcik. That one goes deep. Anderson's there to Anderson. Holstrom roll shots it over. Ammon out to Katranzi off the block. Ammon to Goebel. And Holstrom off the block, kept alive. Ammon to number 12, Suslin. Good setup, but just too far out of bounds. Missed the line by just a couple inches. Dalton still back to serve. Right into the net. Diaz will come back in for her in the back row.
7 for 3.
And Woodhams will come in for Goebel. And Kraft will come in for Ammon and set in the front row. Woodhams with the serve. Nice and deep. A lot of missed serves in this game. This game from both teams. Those are the easy points that coaches talk about. Number 13, Freeman comes back in for the Lions. Wojcik gets her hands on it, but pass is too low for anyone else to get their hands on it. And we're going to get a timeout from the Hornets. Rightfully so. We've seen a couple different pockets of time earlier on in this first game, and now at this moment right here, the Hornets have struggled with their serve receive. So I think Coach Hess just wants to talk about that, maybe ice the server a little bit. And just a quick overview of both teams as this clock is winding down. The Hornets come in 0-3, 0-4 now right after that Hope game that they just lost in 3 sets. And then the Lions come in 0-4 after their previous tournament and game a couple days ago on Wednesday that I'll recap you on in between games. Both teams come back. Nicole Anderson to serve. Katranzi, Vigier, Wojcik, and Woodhams all back to recover. Woodhams will save it. Vigier will send it over. Anderson will set up Holstrom. That goes into the net. Exactly what Coach Hess wanted after that timeout. We'll see Girard come in for Vigier. Katranzi back to serve. Anderson, Holstrom, Diaz, and Anderson all back to serve receive. Anderson sets out Freeman. Freeman sails that out. But looks like we're going to get a net violation from Girard. So that's going to be point Finlandia. Holstrom back to serve, 20-13. Another missed serve. Goodman comes back in the front row for Wojcik. Suslin back to serve. A little bit of miscommunication from Holstrom and Diaz will kind of get some hands on it, but send it into the crowd. Holstrom gets it up. Freeman tries to save. 20-16. Susland again with the serve, but we're going to get a sub really fast for the Lions. Number 3, Tellerico is going to come in. Anderson gets it. She sets to Anderson. Manos will free ball it over. Katranzi's there. They go to Goodman off the hands of Diaz. Tellerico's there. Opportunity for Goodman. She goes for the tip. Diaz sets outside to Anderson. Katranzi's there once again. We're going to get a net violation. They're going to call it on Gerard. We see Wojcik come back in. Diaz to serve. Kraft finds Gerard into the net. We're going to have a double hit, from Wojcik. We're going to get another timeout from the Hornets. So they'll take a minute timeout. 22-16 in favor of the Lions. Once again, going for that icing of the server, as we've seen and talked about the last time out, how they've struggled with their serve receive. Coach Hess looking for that same strategy, trying to recoup her team to try to switch the direction of this game as we're getting close to the end. And just a quick recap for the Hornets on Friday. They lost their season opener to Chicago and North Park at the Gargoyle Classic. They lost 25-9, 25-14, and 25-15, with Katranzi coming away with 5 kills and Susland with 3. Ferguson with 9 digs and Ammon with 7 digs. Diaz back to serve. Woodham's there. They go to Goodman off the hands of Dalton for the point. Once again, exactly what Coach Hess wants after a timeout. Ammon comes back in as well as Goebel. Diaz, Tellerico, and Anderson all back to serve receive. Tellerico will have it. Anderson goes out to Freeman. Beautiful corner shot from Freeman. Perfect placement, found the hole on the court. 23-17. Freeman back to serve. Katranzi gets it up a little far. Wojcik's there to help. Gerard will send it over. Anderson to Dalton. Ammon with the dig. Wojcik will set Goebel. Tellerico's there at the net. Joust, and the Hornets will win. It looks like Goodman got her hands on it. Nattel will come back in. She'll play back row. Rachel Gerard back to serve. The senior. Right to Diaz. Anderson sets back row to Nattel with a nice short hit. She looks kind of surprised on that one. Vigier is going to come back in for Gerard. For the Hornets and for the Lions, we're going to see Holstrom come in for Tellerico. Tellerico doing a fantastic job as the sub, coming in off the bench, getting a couple good digs and passes. Anderson with the serve to Vigier. Ammon will chicken wing it, and that'll do it for us for the first game. First game will go to the Lions. They win 25-18. They'll get a 2-minute break. And to finish out your recap, so Friday I talked about Kalamazoo lost 3-0, and then on Saturday the team was defeated by Central Iowa in 3 sets, 25-21, 25-21 again, and then 25-23. They were led offensively by Katranzi, who had 11 kills, and Susland and Gerard both added 6 and 5 kills respectively. Ammon contributed 18 assists, and Wojcik had 17 digs. For the Lions, as I mentioned previously, they come in 0-4. They lost 3-2 to Marion on Friday night. close sets, 23-25, 33-31, 24-26, 25-21, and 15-13. Senior Shannon Anderson had a strong match with 18 kills, 17 digs, and tallied 3 aces, while senior Marina Dalton had 14 kills, 10 digs, and 3 aces. And then Holstrom also added in 13 kills and 15 digs, so a lot of points that game and a lot of kills seen by Anderson, Dalton, and Holstrom, who are also having good days here today at Hope. And then they lost on Saturday to Ripon 3-0, 25-17, 25-13, and 25-15. And then they lost 3-0 to Wheaton, 25-11, 25-15, and 25-9 in the Ripon Quadrangler. And Shannon Anderson was selected to the all-tournament team, so congrats to her. And then on Wednesday, they lost 3-1 in a couple close games to UW Superior. Holstrom had 11 kills and 16 digs, and Dalton had 9 kills, 3 aces, and 3 blocks, while senior Jessie Diaz had 30 digs. And now she just needs 2 more to become the second Lion to have 110 career digs, which is a fantastic stat to have. Diaz will most likely get that very soon. I'm sure she's already gotten that by today. And hopefully she'll go for that #1 spot. Not quite sure what the record is, but as the season's still early and her being the libero, she'll have lots of opportunities to rack up the dig numbers. So clock winding down, about 30 seconds left. Both teams have taken the court. Looks like for the Lions, we're going to have Nicole Anderson, Nattel, Shannon Anderson, Tellerico, Diaz, and Nattel will come in. Oh, excuse me, I missed Dalton. And then for the Hornets, we're going to have Dowdell, Goodman, Gerard, Ammon, Wojcik, and Katranzi. And looks like Ammon will start us off with the serve as we begin this second game in the match. This one to Diaz. Anderson out to Anderson. Wojcik with the dig. Ammon finds Gerard, and she'll get that. Solid hit to start the game. Ammon goes for the second serve. To Diaz again. Anderson to Dalton. Ammon misplaces it. Miscommunication, and Katranzi will chicken wing that one right over. This ball goes out to Anderson. Mistimed block from Dowdell. She'll get the tip right behind Dowdell, and Ammon can't get there in time for the dig. Holstrom's going to come into the front row. Shannon Anderson back to serve. Katranzi's there. Ammon to Goodman with a powerful hit. Quick shot by Goodman. Gerard back to serve. Gerard to Nattel. Anderson goes for the sneak attack. Free balled over by Wojcik. Diaz with a beautiful pass. Out to Dalton with a flare, who gets it to stick. She'll send herself back to the line to serve. And we'll see number 9, Patterson, come in. Or excuse me, number 9, Manos. I'm looking at the wrong side of the roster. This ball's up by Vigier. Goodman sends it over. Nattel to Anderson. Anderson back to Nattel, who sets it over. Wojcik to Ammon. Ammon finds Katranzi. Good body control by Katranzi out to Holstrom. Off the block. Looks like it got more of number 15 Dowdell's hands. Dalton will continue to serve. A sneak attack right over the net. Hits it a stick. Gives the Lions the lead by 2. Dalton tries to go low again, but sends it into the net. Diaz will come back in for her to play back row. Wojcik back to serve. She goes for a floater. Saved by Anderson. Manos will send it over. Dowdell will get it. Nattel gets her hands on it. Back row to Anderson. Wojcik's there. Katranzi saves it. And Ammon will free ball it over. Diaz to Anderson. Anderson finds Holstrom. Wojcik's there for the dig. Out to Katranzi. Right through the hands of Diaz. Hornets tied up 4-4. Wojcik goes for a short serve. That's the kind of pass that every front row player loves to see. Anderson got her hands on it, but floated over right above the net. And Katranzi there with her great timing. I mean, that's the cake ball right there. Everyone wants to see that, and she slams it down. Anderson out to Holstrom. Gonna get a double hit call. Hornets take the lead by 2. Anderson to Anderson. She goes for the sneak attack. Beautiful decision making right there to give her team the quick point. Wojcik with the awesome hustle, but can't get the pancake quite on time. Freeman will come in for Nattel. And Nicole Anderson is back to serve. Vigier will get her hands on it. Ammon goes outside, but Vigier will take it. Misplaced ball. She tries to do the best she can with it, but that'll head out of bounds. Nicole Anderson once again. This time to Wojcik. Suslin just kind of punches that one over. Freeman does the same, saved by Vigier. Out to Katranzi, hard hit. Kraft's gonna come in at a set front row. And number 7, Sophie Woodhams will come in to play back row and serve. Anderson to Anderson. Out to Holstrom. Anderson with the dig. Diaz sets up Holstrom. Saved by Woodham. Anderson to Freeman. Diving pass by Anderson, sends it over, but that's out of bounds. Tied at 7. Holstrom back to serve. Good pass from Wojcik, misplaced set, so Suslin can't do anything about it. Holstrom again. Nice short serve. Suslin gets her hands on it. Great dig. Freeman tries to save it. Can't do it, so that'll be point Hornets. Tellerico will come in for Holstrom, play back row. So Tellerico, Diaz, and Anderson back for serve receive. Katranzi with the serve. Tellerico gets her hands on it. Anderson saves it, and Diaz will just free ball it over. This ball set up to Suslin once again with a great hit, saved by Anderson. Good effort by Anderson, but can't get it up high enough. Suslin with back-to-back great hits. Tellerico will get it, saved by Anderson, and Anderson tries to hit it over. A little bit of a wonky spin on that. Didn't make for an easy ball hit. That goes into the net. Hornets take the lead by 2. Transition to Tellerico. Anderson to Anderson, off the block. Gerard's there. Back to Gerard. Tellerico with the save. Up to Freeman, off the block. Anderson's got it, into the scorer's table. Freeman with the effort, but not a good positioning on that, so Katranci will continue to serve. Katranci goes deep, and that hit the back line. Beautiful placement. We're going to get a timeout from the Lions. Much better effort from the Hornets in this second game. You can see the combinations are starting to click. The hits are starting to find some good spots. The hitters are doing a much better job of seeing the court and finding the holes in the defense, seeing which players are a little bit up too far. They've gone deeper a couple times. Susland with back-to-back good hits that we saw in those back corners. And they even see whenever Diaz is back, they go for a little shorter middle hit. So a lot better vision of the court for the Hornets and just a whole lot better connection off the sets for the hitters. So they'll come back. Katranci will continue to serve. Ball's up, goes to Diaz. Diaz with a good pass. Anderson out to Anderson, off the block. Woodham was there. Back row to Katranci. Diaz gets it up. They find Anderson, goes for the short tip. Beautiful spot, just a wide open middle. The Lions have done a good job looking for that tip. Anderson especially, I think that's her second or third tip right in the middle. Just kind of throw that defense off as they sit back, and that middle is just completely wide open. Beautiful job by her. Diaz will send it over for the serve. Out to Gerard. This one's up. Diaz with the set. Out to Anderson. Wojcik's there. Quick tip. Good spot by Diaz to be there. Freeman with the stand hit. Punched over. Anderson to Dalton. Off the hands. Good job by Dalton to bring it within 2. 12-10, still in favor of the Hornets. This ball up from Gerard. Good hit, better dig by Diaz. Off the hands, Katranci's there to help. Deep tip by Susland. Throw him off a little bit. She's been hitting pretty hard, but still went deep, just a different change of tempo, which is all you need sometimes. Susland will serve. Tellerico with a beautiful pass out to Freeman. She goes deep and will get a touch. Wojcik back in the back row for the Hornets. Freeman to serve. Still a 2-point game. Off the hands of Woodhams. They bring it within 1. Woodhams goes to Wojcik, or excuse me, Freeman. Tipped over. Freeman's there with the dive, but floats it right over to the opposite out of bounds. Tell comes in for the Lions, and we're going to see Ammon come back in as well as Dowdell. Ammon to serve. She also has Wojcik and Katranci in the back, and looks like Natel, Diaz, and Tellerico. Diaz will take it. Anderson to Dalton. Dalton leaves it high, sends it out. Now it's a 3-point game. Ammon with a deep breath in the serve. Tellerico with a pass. Anderson to Anderson, off the block. Natel's there, but wasn't expecting it. Ammon again. She goes to Diaz. This ball goes up to Dalton. Ammon's there. Katranzi helps her out. They'll have to free ball that over. Anderson with a quick tip. This time Ammon's there to save it. Back row hit off the net. Saved by Anderson. Dalton will get over. And Anderson will send it up to Goodman. She just kind of throws that one down off the fingertips. Natel with the effort. Ammons will continue to serve. The Hornets on a little bit of a run, 17-12. Tellerico with the pass. Anderson to Anderson. Gerard will get it up. Wojcik helps her out, finds her again. Anderson saves, and Diaz tries to chicken wing that over. Not enough power on it. Ammon back to serve. Tellerico with the pass. Anderson to Dalton. Powerful hit off Dalton to Katranzi. She was there but wasn't expecting it. Holstrom will come in for Tellerico in the front row. Shannon Anderson back to serve. That goes right into the net. Gerard back to serve. Anderson to Anderson, out to Holstrom, into the net. Good choice. Holstrom's having a strong game so far. That one just couldn't connect. Gerard again. To Natel. Anderson to Dalton off the block. This one will have to be free balled over. Ammon to Goodman off the hands of Diaz. Gerard with the serve. Natel barely gets that one up. Dalton will tip over. Katranzi's there. Out to Katranzi. Solid hit from Katranzi right through the hands of the block. Katranzi has a little bit more height on the front row, has more height than the front row of the Lions and a larger wingspan, and she just kind of sailed that one right over the hands of the block. Dalton will set Natel. She tips it over. Ammon to Dowdell, off the block. Ammon's there to save. Wojcik goes to Katranzi, off the block. Ammon for the deep tip. Anderson's there. Anderson to Dalton. Tip again. Missed pass ball from the Hornets. Point Lions. Vigier's going to come in for Gerard to play back row. Marina Dalton, the senior from Texas, goes back to serve. Katranzi. Ammon with a beautiful set, excuse me, on my laps right there to Goodman. Goodman got some good height on that ball, perfectly hit ball. Suslin comes back in. 23-14 in favor of the Hornets. Wojcik with a short serve. Anderson to Holstrom. Vigiero gets a chicken wing on it, and Wojcik can't see it. A lot of screams from her team, but the screams don't tell her where the ball is, so couldn't find it in the lights. Freeman comes back into the front row. Nicole Anderson back to serve. Katranzi brings it up. They find Katranzi again on the outside. We're going to get a double hit. Nicole Anderson again. Vigier's there. Ammon to Suslin. Dug by Anderson. Freeman brings it up. Wojcik's there. Ammon to Katranzi. Anderson got in the way of Freeman, but tried to save it, couldn't do anything with it.
7 for 15.
And Woodham is going to come back in. Woodham serves. Diaz to Anderson. Anderson to Holdstrom. Anderson again to Holstrom, who just sets it over. And we saw that a lot last year, and I have a feeling we're going to see that a lot this year too, as that game comes to a close, 25-16, this time in favor of the Hornets, so that'll bring us 1-1. But back to that last play, we see a lot of more double hit calls. We saw it a lot last season. Scott Vanderstoop and I talked about that a lot. Scott will be on the call with me at 7 for the Hope game against Adrian. But if you're not a setter and you're in that front row or you set the ball regardless, it better be the most perfect set you've ever set. Otherwise, most likely it will be a double hit call. You can see it off the spin of the set. So we've seen a couple of those today from non-setters, and I'm sure we'll see plenty more the rest of this season. So the teams will have about a 2-minute break. So we'll take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back very shortly.
We've intentionally never had minimum account sizes. Our philosophy has always been, if you're willing to put in the work and we'll collaborate and we set the plan in place and you're willing to go along with this plan and to put forth effort to this plan, we're happy to work with you. It's what we love to do. And so we have people coming in from the very starting point all the way to, to the wealthy people. It's all different scenarios. Financial planning is not just for the wealthy. We've intentionally never had minimum account sizes. Our philosophy has always been, if you're willing to put in the work and we'll collaborate and we set the plan in place and you're willing to go along with this plan and to put forth effort to this plan, we're happy to work with you. It's what we love to do. And so we have people coming in from the very starting point all the way to, to the wealthy people. It's all different scenarios. Financial planning is not just for the wealthy. We've intentionally never had minimum account sizes. Our philosophy has always been, if you're willing to put in the work and we'll collaborate and we set the plan in place and you're willing to go along with this plan and to put forth effort to this plan, we're happy to work with you. It's what we love to do. And so we have people coming in from the very starting point all the way to, to the wealthy people. It's all different scenarios. Financial planning is not just for the wealthy.
Welcome back to the matchup between Kalamazoo Hornets and Finlandia Lions. The score is currently 1-1. We are in the third game of this match. You need 3 to win. And we just saw in that little brief time in between games commercial from our sponsor, Lawrence and Vanderswoerd. And we just want to thank them as Freeman gets things started right here for all they do for Hope College and making this broadcast possible. So thank you to Lawrence and Vanderswoerd as the Hornets will get the first kill of the game and first point of the game. Gerard back to serve. Diaz gets it up. Anderson goes back row to Natel, barely off the net. And that'll land right in the middle. So one of those lucky shots that just go in your favor. Vigier will come to play back row for Gerard as Shannon Anderson steps back to serve. Goodman's there for the help. This ball's over. Anderson to Dalton. Holstrom saves it. Back and forth. Ammon will save that one too, and Hornets try to keep it alive, but goes over the head ref's head out of bounds. Shannon Anderson again. To Vigier. Ammon to Catranzi. off the hands of Nattel. Tied 2-2. Susling comes in. Wojcik back to serve. Nattel's there. Ammon has to move. Holstrom with the solid hit. Well set up by Nicole Anderson, who really had a lot of space to cover. Still set that ball beautifully up on the move, and Holstrom just made the most of it with a solid kill to send Dalton back to serve. Vigier will get it up. They found Dowdell on the right side. Dowdell off the net hit, but beautifully placed in that corner. Woodhams comes back in as well as Kraft to set in the front row. Woodhams to serve. Good follow to the line from Shannon Anderson to see that one out. Nicole Anderson will serve. Vigier's there, up to Catranzi. Off the hands of Shannon Anderson. Good hit by Catranzi. That will be her, 8th kill of the night. Catranzi with a little bit of a shorter serve with kind of some spin on it. Holstrom gets her hands on it, but she sits back on her heels. That one just kind of spins funky off her arms. Catranzi with the floater to Holstrom again. Anderson to Freeman. Catranzi gets her hands on it, up to Gerard. Anderson's there with the dig, close to the net. Diaz keeps it alive. We're gonna get a net violation. Or 4 hits, excuse me, not a net violation. Catranzi with the serve. Hard jump serve, but that goes into the net. Holstrom, sophomore from Hancock to serve. Woodhams gets it up. They go middle to Gerard. Looks like Diaz and Manos kind of had a little bit of collision to keep Diaz from getting that second ball. Usually when your setter takes that first hit, you want your libero to set up that second one. But just one of those freak accidents. Catranzi with a beautiful dig, miscommunication from Kraft and Woodhams, but I think Woodhams was in the right on that. She might have was facing the ball, but you always want your setter to get that second pass no matter what, and Kraft was pretty close to that ball and was in a couple steps of that, so just a little bit of a miscommunication. Catranzi with a beautiful pass this time. Goodman with the tip. Anderson to Anderson, off the block, but we're gonna get a double hit call before. Kraft for Ammon, and Dowdell will come in for Woodhams. Diaz, Holstrom, and Anderson back. Anderson will set or pass this one up, excuse me. Dowdell with a gentle block right back over the net to give Kalamazoo a 3-point lead. Ammon goes up. Short serve to Holstrom. Anderson to Freeman. That ball will just roll up the top of the tape of the net. Deflected funkily off Goodman's hands. Freeman for the serve. 2-point game. Deep serve, and those are one of those moments where the momentum's changed your way and you got to get that serve in. So the Hornets regain their 3-point lead. Gerard will serve. Deep to Diaz. Anderson to Dalton. Ammon gets her hands on it, saved by Gerard, and Ammon will free ball it over. Anderson with a beautiful quick jump tip again. Showing us that she's a pro at that. Beautiful job. That middle is just wide open. Perfect decision on that play. Nice sneak attack, and she'll send her sister Shannon Anderson back to serve. And this is one of those serves that you need to stick, and that goes right into the net. Back-to-back shanked serves. The Hornets getting lucky. Wojcik with the serve. Up by Natel. Holstrom with the hit. Finds that corner. Dalton to serve. We see Manos back in. Ammon to Suslin. Up by Natel. They find Holstrom. It's going to go off the antenna. Ammon and Kraft will sub in for Ammon. She'll set front row. Kraft, Suslin, and Katranzi in the front row for the Hornets. This ball set up to Holstrom. Deep hit. Wojcik's there. Kraft goes back to Dowdell. Shannon Anderson on that back line to save it. Free ball by Holstrom. Dowdell sets it up. Vigier, a beautiful pass set out to Katranzi. We're going to get a double hit call on that. And Dowdell will go back to serve. Natel with the easy pass. A little bit of miscommunication. Holstrom can't get there in time. 14-9. Hornets have the lead. Close to the net. Suslin misplays it, but the Hornets keep it alive. Wojcik with the dig. Out to Katranzi. Katranzi with a beautiful tip. Just saw that block. No one was there to recover. We're going to get a timeout by the Lions. So 15-9 in favor of the Hornets. We'll go down the line for you and read off some stats. For the Hornets, Katranzi's going to have 5 kills. Excuse me. That looks like Holstrom will have 7 kills. And let me get some more accurate live updates if we have them. I don't know if we do. But anyways, in this third game, tied 1-1, Hornets come out strong, and the Lions have come back on serve receive a couple times, but those 2 back-to-back shanked serves into the net and out of bounds were kind of the momentum swings. Those are the chances for the Lions to bring it within 1, and they couldn't capitalize on it. And now the Hornets have a 6-point lead, which could be dangerous, because when the score was at this point last game, the Lions couldn't recover from the deficit. So we'll see how they recover after this timeout. Dowdell with the serve. Anderson finds Holstrom. Vigier gets her hands on it, out to Katranzi. Diaz with the dig. Holstrom again, off the block. Suslin's there, tried to look for it, but in that process, just kind of lifted that ball up. We're going to get a sub. Woodhams will come in for Dowdell for the Hornets, and then we're going to see Freeman come in for Natel in the front row for the Lions, while Nicole Anderson will serve. Suslin will set it over. Diaz to Holstrom. Vigier's there, close to the net. Kraft chooses to tip. Out to Freeman, tips there in the middle, saved by Wojcik. Katranzi goes for the deep tip, beautiful line tip. Saw that Nicole Anderson was up for setting, and Shannon just couldn't cover that back corner as well as she wanted to. Suslin serves that one. Holstrom sends it over. And I think we're going to get a lineup check. Looks like the rotation got a little bit mixed up. Suslin served, but I think it was supposed to be Katranzi. Gerard will come in. Goodman comes out. So now that our rotation is right, Holstrom will serve. Ball up, out to Wojcik. Kraft back row, Woodhams gets it. Double hit, like I said, if you're gonna set from that back row, even if it's a set over the net, you gotta be careful. Holstrom with the serve. Out of bounds, 17-12 in favor of the Hornets. We'll see Suslin serve again. This is now where she's supposed to be serving in the lineup. Tipped over out of bounds, 18-12. Suslin to Diaz. Anderson to Anderson. Out of bounds. That'll hit the tape just to the right of the antenna. Point Lions. Diaz back to serve. Diaz to Katranzi. Out to Gerard. Diaz tips it over. Goodman tries to save it, but instead we'll get a double hit. 18-14 now, a 4-point game. Wojcik, Katranzi, and Woodhams back to receive. Woodhams takes it. Kraft to Gerard. Beautiful dig from the Lions. Anderson off the block. First we're gonna get a net violation from Shannon Anderson. Ammon will come back to serve, and Dowdell will come in for Woodhams in the front row. Ammon in. They set back row to Holstrom. Katranzi with a beautiful pass, showing that hitters can play all around. Freeman to Wojcik. Ammon goes outside to Gerard again. In the middle, beautiful roll pass. Diaz sitting on her heels a little far back so she couldn't go to that middle. 2014. Ammon to serve. Sanders will pass it up. Anderson, Nicole Anderson sets that one. I think intended for Dalton, but Dalton had a different plan for the play. Shannon Anderson in the pass. Finds Shannon again. Ammon to Goodman, hard hit. 22-14. Finds Anderson. Anderson sets Dalton. Ammon goes to Goodman again, and Goodman back-to-back points. Ammon continues her streak serving. To Holstrom. Sanders to Holstrom. Transy with the dig, close to the net. Ammons recovers. Beautiful hit by the Hornets, 24-14, 10-point game. Game point right here for Zoe Ammon. And she puts it right into the net to give the Lions a little bit more life left in this game. Freeman with the serve. Transy with the pass to Goodman. Goodman just the go-to hitter in these last couple points. She'll finish it off for us, 25-15. The Hornets take game 3. So that is 2-1 in favor of the Hornets after a much better performance, back-to-back performances from the Hornets after that first game. A lot more adjustments made, as I talked about in between the first and second game. A lot more connections on the hits. Goodman getting more involved. Katranzi was kind of the main show earlier on for the Hornets, but players like Goodman really getting involved, Suslin getting involved, and really doing a great job in the back. Wojcik and Katranzi also in the back row doing a great job setting up the setter Ammon and both Kraft to get easy sets on their part, and that really makes the job of Ammon and Kraft a lot easier, so that means that they can set balls better to players like Katranzi and Dowdell, as well as Suslin and some of the other hitters. So we're going to get about a 2-minute break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back for the 4th game in this match. The Hornets are up 2-1. They won the second and third set, and the Lions won the first one. Looks like the down ref is going to help out the Lions with the rotation. Diaz will sub in right away for Dalton. And the Hornets will start us off. Zoe Ammon, who went on a roll serving in that last game, and has done pretty well with serves throughout this whole match. Diaz with the first pass of the game. Anderson out to Anderson. Off the block. Gerard keeps it alive. Diaz is there to save. Freeman this time sends it over. Katranzi with the chicken wing save. Lions will set a little bit more. Anderson off the hands of the block. The block was just far enough off the net that instead of going over, went right back into the net. Good job by Anderson. Send Diaz back to the line to serve. Transy with the pass. Gerard with the little roll shot. Diaz out to Anderson. Beautifully dug by Wojcik. Anderson misplaced pass. Freeman's going to save it, but that's going to be out of bounds. Gerard back to serve. Anderson, Holstrom, and Diaz on serve receive. Holstrom in the back row hit. Well placed. And Gerard will get her hands on it. A little bit of help from Ammon, but sends that one into the crowd. So good effort by the Hornets, but even better back row hit from Holstrom to give them the point. Freeman with the serve. Off the hands of Dalton. Dalton will recover. Dalton kind of gets, looks like a little bit of a finger on it. Doesn't look like much. She just kind of passes that one over. Freeman with the serve. Wojcik with the dig. Diaz gets her hands on it. And we're going to get an injury timeout. Katranzi's there. Not quite sure what happened. And thankfully here at Hope College we have a wonderful athletic training staff. She does look like she's in a lot of pain. She looks like she seems to have calmed down. Coach Hess is there with her. Looks like it's that left leg. We're going to get a couple more athletic training staff on. Our head Tanya comes to the rescue. Still working on that left leg. Both teams will head back to their bench. We're now checking out that knee. The official name will be an injury timeout. We hate to see this happen so early on in the season as Katranzi. She is a junior. Early on in the season, we hate to see injuries like this. Not quite sure what it is yet, but they're still heavily focusing on that left knee. Katranzi's been a key player in these last couple games. On both the defensive and offensive end, playing all the way around for her team. pair with that right knee. Checking out that right knee to compare. Three to one in this fourth game of this set. Looks like Katranzi's going to sit up. Standing up on one leg, she'll be helped off by our training staff. So we'll try to keep you posted on that as she's going to go off to the trainer's room with the staff to get checked out further. So they'll have to sub in for Katranzi, and we'll see number 18, Kate Schultz, will come in. She's a sophomore from Alpena. So Schultz will come in the back row for Katranzi. And Katranzi was the floor captain, so we're going to have to get a new one. We have to decide. Katranzi was playing all the way around, so easy choice for a floor captain because she never comes out, but looks like Schultz will take the floor captain. Getting a little quick encouragement from Coach Hess, always good to see. Some extra encouragement. And Freeman will start us off after this injury timeout. Players going out to Katranzi. And Freeman just will send that one right into the net to start us off. And Nattel will come back in to play back row for her. Wojcik back to serve. Wojcik to Nattel. Nattel shanks that pass. Misplayed off her arms. Wojcik again with the serve. 3-3. Short serve. Anderson out to Anderson. Off the block. Looks like a little bit of extra space between Dowdell and Suslin, to deflect that one out of bounds. Shannon Anderson back to serve. 4-3 in favor of the Lions. Schultz with her first play of the game, and she'll get set right away. Deep hit, good placement. Hard coming in off the bench after not playing for 3 games, and she'll stick her first hit of the night, so solid job by Schultz. Kraft comes into the front row to set. Nattel will get this. This one goes back row to Anderson. Diaz misset it, but Shannon Anderson did the most with it. And we're going to see number 17, Kelly Nicholson, for the first time tonight. She comes in for Dowdell. Dalton with the serve. Schultz will have to free ball it over. Anderson to Holstrom. Right to Nicholson. Saved by Gier. And the Lions come away with it. They take a 2-point lead. Lots of smiles from that front row. Dalton with the serve. Kraft high out to Schultz. Schultz leaves it high. That goes out of bounds. 3-point lead. Dalton with the serve. Hard serve right in the net. Good server, tends to keep him low, so if she misses it, it's going to go right in the net. We've seen it a couple times tonight from her, but good job to give her team the lead. Schultz is going to go back to serve. Schultz with a great serve to Anderson. Anderson out to Holstrom. Off the block again. Looks like Suslin and Kraft both just kind of had their hands straight up to get that ball to go down. You kind of want to push them forward a little bit, and that kind of goes with timing as well. Just going to go up and out off the block if you don't push it. So a little bit quicker timing from the block, and Nicole Anderson will send that into the net. Suslin back to serve. Holstrom's there. Anderson out to Freeman. Too far of a set, and Freeman has no choice, and that just goes out of bounds, or past the antenna, excuse me. 1-point game now. Holstrom just passes straight up. They'll back set to her, back row set. She hits him in the net. Tie game. Suslin and both look like Diaz and Holstrom got hands on it. Once again, that double block, a little far off the net. It's like 8 Goodman hit the net. So regardless, Lions will get the point. Holstrom with the serve. Nicholson with the pass. Goodman off the block, tried to be saved by Shannon. Hornets tie it back up, and we're going to see Dowdell come in for Nicholson and Ammon come in for Kraft. Ammon to serve. Diaz with the pass. Anderson tips it over, but it's going to tip it on the left side of the antenna on the outside. So it's going to be out of bounds. Ammon to serve. Hornets take the lead by 1. Anderson with the pass. Anderson up to Freeman. Looks to tip it. Mistipped. Floats that right back into the net. Ammon up with the serve. Anderson to Anderson, back to Anderson. Just the Andersons play on that one. Good connection by them. Makes it easy to have chemistry when you're related. They bring it within 1. Diaz serves that up. Ammon out to Gerard. Gerard with a nice roll shot, tip kind of combo to go right over the block, and no one is there. Diaz back on her heels, and no one's there to cover the tip. Gerard to serve. Close to the net, Schultz tips it over. Dalton sends it back. Back row hit by Gerard. Dalton keeps it alive. Freeman tips it over. Goodman with the serve off of Anderson. Diaz will set Anderson. Ammon to Goodman. Holstrom there, but on the move. Misread it. Thought it was going to be a little bit harder hit. Tries to wing it, chicken wing it, but can't get it. Gerard with the serve. Freeman with a hit off the hands of the block. Ammon to Dowdell off the block. Beautiful partner block from Dalton and Shannon Anderson. Vigier back into the game. Freeman in to serve. She goes to Schultz. Schultz with the hit off the block. Anderson to save, and her sister helps her out. Freeman sends it over. And once again, we're going to see that double hit call. Natel will come in for Freeman. And Wojcik back to serve. Diaz kind of misplaced her body, but still got a pretty good pass out of it. And Dalton will slam that one down towards the back line. Shannon Anderson to serve. Wojcik with the pass up. Dowdell with the hit. Patel with the easy pass. Holstrom goes deep, leaves it high. Kraft's going to come in for Ammon. Dowdell. Dalton with the hit. Off the hands of Vigier. She knew right away as that ball was hit off her hands. Didn't come out quite right. Nicholson back in for Dowdell. I think Mono's back in for the Lions, if I'm correct. Vigier with the pass. Out to Suslin with the flare. Good shot by Suslin. Diaz comes into the back row. 16-13. Schultz with the serve. Diaz with the pass. We're going to get a double hit call off of Anderson. Schultz again with the serve. Off the tape. Anderson out to Holstrom. Through the block. Looks like a feint tip on that to give the Lions the point. Freeman will come in for Natel. Nicole Anderson with the serve. Kraft to Gerard. Gerard got a lot of height on that ball. Diaz free balls it over. Kraft to Suslin. She'll only have to tip it. Pancake by Diaz. Suslin with the cake ball. This ball's up. Deflected off of Shannon Anderson, deflected off of her sister. And no one was there to help him out. 18-14. Suslin to serve. Diaz with the pass. Ball goes out to Holstrom with beautifully hit ball. Probably one of her best hits of the night. I mean, she's had quite a few, but that's up there in the top 3. Beautiful cross-court hit. Good vision on that. See the defense back on their heels. Back row hit from Gerard. It looks like the line judge's going to see it in. And Ammon's going to come back in as well as Dowdell for the Hornets. And Zoe Ammon is going to serve, the sophomore from Saline. Seen a lot of good serves out of her tonight. Anderson looks for the cross court, but out of bounds. Misses it just a couple inches, just shy. 20-15, 5-point game. Ammon once again. Anderson with the pass, finds her sister, out to Freeman. Dowdell there, but her body was a little too close to the net, so just kind of sticks her arms out and can't get it. Diaz to serve. Dalton back into the front row. Schultz with the pass. Out of bounds from Goodman. 3-point game now. Diaz serves. Goodman connects with that one. Nicole Anderson just slightly up on that play, and Holstrom back to cover that back line, and Goodman just found that gap in the back left corner. Floater serve. Anderson to Freeman. Into the hands of the block, free balled over. First one gonna get 4 hit call. Freeman back to line to serve, 21-18. Hornets still in control. Deep serve, but Wojcik's there. Miscommunication hit right there, but it still goes over. Tip, Ammon sent it over, punched up from Anderson, and between Anderson and Dalton, they somehow get it over. It's like a little bit of a net violation. Wojcik to serve. Floater. Mattel there with the easy pass out to Patterson. Line call, or excuse me, in the net violation from Schultz. 22-19, close game. Gerard will send that one up. Schultz roll shots it over. Anderson to Patterson off the block. Diaz is there to cover. Holstrom with an extra tip. She's up. Joust at the net. Anderson will take her turn at a hit. Good decision on her part. She'll bring it within 2, and we're going to have a quick timeout. And Hornets were on the roll. We're on a roll, excuse me. Had about a 5-6 point lead. And the Lions just came back with a lot of tenacity, a lot of connection on their points. Stopped missing the serves, which was huge, and started to get some hits, and were scrappy on the play. They went for every ball, started to find those spots and cover the middle a little bit more. Some good passes from Diaz and Nattel in the back, and some good recovery plays up front. Not the most beautifully looking recovery plays from Anderson and Dalton and Holstrom, but they made the most of what they got and brought their team within 2. Hornets have not been able to have the same success with some of those non-typical and kind of crazy mess plays as the Lions have, and so we'll see how this game pans out in this last couple minutes. Ammon back row to Gerard. This ball this time goes out to Holstrom, covered by Diaz, but good block, pumped up from Dowdell. It's her turn to serve. 3-point game. Dowdell to Nattel. Anderson up to Patterson, off the block. Patterson keeps it alive with help from Diaz, over the net from Nattel. Suslin rolls it over. Anderson with that sneak attack. Back row hit from Gerard. Diaz with the easy pass. Holstrom looks to finish. Beautiful dig by Wojcik. Back row hit to Gerard. Nattel's there again. Patterson goes middle. Up for the Hornets. Schultz goes. And Anderson is there on the move, but just hits that one out of bounds. Good play by Schultz coming in. Game point and match point right here for the Hornets. Dowdell sneaks that ball over. Holstrom will be the ending point as she hits it right into the net, and to give the Hornets the win, 25-20. That'll do it tonight for us in this current matchup between the Hornets and the Finlandia Lions. And next up, we are going to see the Hope College Flying Dutch against Adrian. So stay tuned. In just a couple minutes, we're going to get the first serve of that game at 7 o'clock. So we'll be back here very shortly.